What's going on, the Winners Win podcast? Your boy Loso 2.0, and today we're talking about snap judgments. Now, before we get started with those, please feel free to let's do some housekeeping things. Like this video, share it, subscribe to the Winners Win channel. If you listen to us on any type of podcast platform, leave a 5-star review and leave a review below so I can figure out how I can better serve you. Now, first thing is, what are snap judgments? Snap judgments are first impressions. They're like snap, right? So how quick is a snap? That quick. A judgment is really, what do you think about that person? So snap judgment really is, in a quick second, what do you think about the person that you're dealing with, or whatever that you're dealing with, right? What is the judgment? What are you judging them on, right? So first thing are, snap judgments are extremely powerful. A lot of the times people will like to say, okay, you know that saying, first impressions are everything. They truly are. In that quick second, I was actually watching a video the other day, right, on TikTok. You know, sometimes TikTok just brings up random stuff and just have you scrolling through. And he was actually talking to this girl, and he was talking about the idea that women know if they want to sleep with a man based off of like the first couple of seconds or whatever, right? Or basically they'll know immediately if they want to or not, quickly like that. But then they would then sleep with them later on or not. So they will decide whether or not, you know, you're attractive enough for them to sleep with. That's just one example, but snap judgments are really that powerful, right? They're willing to give up something so powerful, so sacred to you in this split second, right? They judged it immediately. Second thing is, humans do everything right after that initial judgment to support that initial judgment. So, for example, I met somebody before, right, at this place, like at this job. And the person I met at this job, right, the first time I met them, the first thing they do is they have attitude problem. They're not really willing to help me. Like, I could just tell off the gate, like literally as soon as I say hi, person just pretty much just ignores me and just doesn't even say anything to me, or just looks away from me and stuff. That really matters. What you do really does matter in that thing. Now, another example is, I was actually doing I had actually one of my coworkers doing a competitor visit from another location, and he walked in the location. People opened up the doors for him. They, you know, say, hey, welcome to this. He felt like they basically laid the red carpet out just to make sure that that person was good. And this is why there's a saying that I learned from one of my reps and one of my employees is, you had to greet to eat, because it's true. You have to have a strong greeting. You have to make that first snap judgment very powerful, and you have to make it do it, because then now, based off of that, they're going to try to support everything you do after that. If it was a friendly judgment, they're going to think everything else you do is friendly, and they're going to try to use that to support it. But if it was like a lazy judgment, then they're going to try to support everything else to see that you're lazy. The third one is, they're going to happen regardless. Regardless if you want a snap judgment to happen to you or not, people are going to judge you based off of you. Now, first of all, what they think about you is none of your business, but unless they're your consumer or customer, right? When they're your customer, everything they do really does matter. That's why Chick-fil-A spends so much time saying, my pleasure, how you doing? Have a smile on their face, all that stuff, because they know that people are going to judge you regardless of what happens. Right, regardless of what type of day you have, you may be, it's just gonna happen, right? You could literally have your whole family going through something, family problems or whatever. They are going to still judge you regardless. Now, they may not know that stuff during the background. A lot of times people gotta go back and think, dang, I didn't know he was going through that stuff, but they're gonna judge you regardless. So it's also important to always be ready for that judgment to happen. Number 4 is, when people support snap judgments are by telling other people about it. I can't tell you how many times people say, I actually had a disgruntled and really irrational customer that I was working with, right? Acting crazy, talking about all this stuff, trying to and threaten employees, doing all this stuff because something happened previously, right, with somebody else before, you know, I took over the position. And one of the things he said was, yeah, no, I will never refer anybody, you know, to your stuff, even if they, you know, I don't care what happens, even though you're trying, you saying you help me, I'm old and stuff, whatever, right? You know, he's one of those, he has that complex where he feels like everything's about him. He literally said, like, he's going to tell people actually not to do this. Like, this is what people do to support it. When someone watches a good movie, they first thing they do is they go and they tell other people around it. That's how they support their snap judgment. So that's why it's so important to have that first impression, because they're going to find different ways to support it. And one of the ways is by telling more people and spreading the word. That's why people will naturally refer you if you actually give them great customer service. So when we're talking about snap judgments, this is how quick it takes somebody to really decide whether or not they mess with you, right? So what we talked about, right, was one thing that snap judgments are powerful, because that's what they said, first impressions are everything, because they really are. You have to agree to eat. The first impression with someone should leave such a lasting impression, in a good way or a bad way, something so powerful. Secondly, as humans do everything, like I said, to support their initial judgments, right? It actually is said that a woman knows whether or not she wants to sleep with the man in the first couple seconds, because that's that snap judgment, right? And then everything else she do, right? Okay, maybe she like may see you got tattoos or something. That's going to support her initial judgment to do that, right? Third is they happen regardless if you want it to happen or not. People are still going to judge you in a quick second, regardless if you want them to get to know you and do all this stuff. No, they're still going to judge you regardless, quick second. And then one way people support snap judgments are by telling other people. Of course, let's say, you know, you're talking to a woman, she's going to try to talk to you about her friends, talk to her friends about you, right? So that's the fourth one. The fifth thing is this: you don't know which input is going to generate the first impression that matters. It may be it, so you know, it's first few seconds, right, for the snap, right? Snap judgment. You don't know if it's going to be the part where you smile. You don't know if it's going to be the part where you said, where you raise your voice, hey, how you doing? Where the thing when you said, hey, yeah, I can, you know, help you with that. Or, you know, my name is this. You don't know which part basically is going to make them immediately judge you and figure out what it is. They, most time, you know, they're going to know, but subconsciously they're probably not going to be like, oh, it was just at this moment I knew he was going to help me. No, they're not going to know after that. But, you know, first impressions, the first impression really does matter, right? They're going to generate that quick first impression. Now, the sixth and last thing is authentic organizations. So organizations that keep it authentic, keep it real. Their story that they wish to tell is going to be heard, believed, and repeated, right? When you're being authentic with your consumers, when you're being authentic with your audience, when you're telling them all the right things, and you're not trying to beat around the bush, not trying to lie to them, whatever, right? Your story that you wish for them to know is going to be heard. They're going to hear you because they're going to listen, actually, when they know you're being authentic, when they judged you initially and it was good and it was powerful, and, you know, they're able to tell the people about it and stuff like that, right? It's good. They're going to start listening. Then they're going to keep believing as they hear it more and more and more, and they're going to keep repeating it, right? Repeating it to other people. Yo, you got this dude was homeless, that and a third, and he was able to make it to this part, right? So these are snap judgments. These are the deals on snap judgments, right? So this is why it's so important to have that initial thing that you want to say. Now, I want you guys to comment below, greet to eat, if you really believe first impressions are everything, right? That's really all I have for you guys today, man. Like this video, share, subscribe to the Winners Win channel. Listen, if you listen to any type of podcast platform, leave a 5-star review. Leave a review below so I can figure out how I can better serve you. Keep killing the day. Winners win, losers lose, and you pray for success like this. 2.0 out.